Well, it's finally over. It all went by much quicker than I was expecting it to. It seems as if this class had only lasted a few days. I was not expecting it to end as quickly as it did. Throughout this class, there has been weights lifted off of my shoulders, and also the few dreadful things as well. Overall, this class has been an enjoyment, and I feel as if I have benefited from it. There have been many great things I have experienced in this class. It was such a relief when I found out that you could redo a speech if you were not satisfied with your first grade. This was great for me because I do not like to get bad grades on anything, and second chances are my best friend when I have messed up. Another thing I like about this class was that I knew what the final was going to be up front. I did not have to go through the whole semester wondering what was going to get thrown on me the last week of class and whether or not it was going to make or break my grade. I knew that the final was going to be reasonable, and I also had the whole semester to work on it. The next thing I enjoyed about this class was the fact that everything was so organized. I knew the whole semester what to expect and how it would go. It was nice being able to see everything you had to accomplish up front and knowing all of the due dates and the amount of points each assignments were. I also enjoyed being able to see the other students' speeches. By seeing the other students' speeches, I was able to know that what I was doing and if it was what I was supposed to be doing, and it also showed me if I'd done bad or good on the assignment. I also enjoyed having guidelines and rubrics for every assignment we were scheduled to complete. Although there were many good things about this class, there's always bad things that go along with it. The thing that I struggled with the most in this class would have to be recording speeches. I drove myself absolutely crazy trying to record myself. It was as if every time I would attempt to record, I would just go blank and have to start all over again. I've already had to restart on this speech like twice. It's literally took me 2 hours to record a 6 to 8 minute speech because of the outrageous amount of times I've messed up. By the time I tried for 2 hours, I would just give up and say, well, this is just going to have to be good enough, because I would get tired of fooling with it. Also, with the demonstrative speech, if I messed up, I could not restart because mine was making peanut butter chews. So once I had mixed the ingredients in, I just had to go with it because I couldn't undo the ingredients to restart. I could not buy 30 tries worth of ingredients, so I just had to wing it and hope for the best. The other thing I did not like was having to memorize everything. It was hard for me to remember everything I was supposed to say. It's a lot easier for me right now to read from this paper that I have in my hand rather than remembering every single word I'm supposed to say, because I go blank every time. It never fails. What surprised me the most was the fact that I'm not shy at all. I've never had a problem getting in front of a group of people and speaking, but it turns out that I hate recording myself and also having to hear myself talk once the video is over. The hardest speech for me to do this semester was the first one where we had to talk about ourselves. I never talk about myself, and I had no clue what I was supposed to say. It was very difficult for me to think about the things to tell you all about myself. I asked everyone I knew what I could say that would be acceptable. That speech really made me realize how boring I am as a person because I had nothing to talk about at all. Throughout this course, I actually learned many things that I did not expect I would. The first thing I learned was how to record myself. This was something I was not familiar with before this course. Before this class, I've never given a formal speech. I've spoken in front of classes before, but never for a speech. Also, I learned how to give feedback to classmates in order to encourage them and also help them improve. Another thing I learned from this class is what to do when you're giving a speech, such as eye contact and getting the reader's attention and making sure you have the appropriate clothes on. And I also learned how to make a PowerPoint without it being overwhelming and too extravagant. This class has been an enjoyment to a point. This was not one of those classes that I had to stress about or worry about the teacher being strict. I was glad to have a teacher who would work with you no matter what and who actually tried to help you do well. I didn't have to worry about unnecessary assignments or whether or not I would fail the course. The only thing I had to dread was videoing myself, and I'm very thankful for the teacher Miss Whitaker turned out to be, and I think I will be pleased with my final grade. It's been nice to watch all of you grow and get better throughout the semester. But I am glad it's over and there will be no more speeches to record. I wish you all good luck in the next chapters of your lives.